Good morning, everyone. So let us continue with the basic concepts of network analysis. In the previous class, we discussed about the Kirchhoff's laws, that is Kirchhoff's current law and Kirchhoff's voltage law. Apart from that, we discussed about the resistors, what is resistance, then what is Ohm's law, then how the power is related with the Ohm's law. So these are the basic concepts which we have discussed in the previous class. Let us now discuss few more basic concepts which are associated with network analysis. So today we will start with open and short circuits. So let us consider what is open circuit. So open circuit is nothing but it's a circuit element whose resistance approaches infinity. So when the resistance value becomes infinity in any part of the branch, then the current which is flowing through the circuit will become zero according to Ohm's law, that is I is equal to V by R, where when R approaches infinity, then I will become zero. Under certain circumstances, your circuit will behave like a open circuit. Now coming to short circuit. So short circuit is nothing but it is a circuit with a resistance value equal to zero. So when the resistance value approaches to zero, that time your voltage across the element will become zero for any current. So under such circumstances, your circuit will behave like a short circuit. So if you consider the conditions here, please remember that for open circuit, the resistance will tend to infinity. Under certain circumstances, the current through the circuit will become zero and your circuit element will behave like a open source. So for R is equal to 0, then the current through the circuit will become infinite, then the voltage across the element will become 0. So according to Ohm's law, if you consider the condition for the short circuit, when R is equal to 0, that is I is equal to V by R, so I will tend to be infinity. That means through open circuit, the current will be 0 and through short circuit, the current will be infinite. So these are the two conditions that you need to remember in order to understand the concept related to open circuit and short circuit. Now let us understand that in a given circuit, if all the elements are connected in two ways, first is series, another one is a parallel. So let us first understand that if the circuits are connected in series combination, let us see how we are going to find the equivalent of all the circuit elements which are connected in series. So first let us consider the series circuit. So series circuit is nothing but two or more circuit elements are said to be in series if the current from one element exclusively flows into the next element. That means, for example, if you see the circuit here, the resistor R1 and the resistor R2 are connected in series. That means, as we know that the resistor, we already discussed in the previous class. So resistor is nothing but it is a two-terminal device. This is one terminal and this is another terminal. So let us consider this as a first terminal, this as a second terminal. Similarly, resistor 2 also has two terminals. This is first terminal and this is second terminal. So series connection is nothing but if the second terminal of the first resistor is connected to the first terminal of a second resistor. I hope it is clear to everyone. So if the second terminal of first resistor is connected to first terminal of second resistor, then the connection of these two resistors is said to be in series. Apart from that, if these resistors are connected to some voltage source, when they are connected in series, then the current flowing through resistance will remain same, whereas the voltage drop across resistance R1 and the voltage drop across resistance R2 may vary depending upon the value of the resistance R1 and R2. So I hope it is clear to everyone. So remember that all series elements have the same current, but the voltage drop across the series elements may differ depending upon the value of the resistors which you are connecting in series. So if all the resistors are connected in series, since the current flowing through the series resistance is same, Under certain circumstances, we can calculate the equivalent resistance of the elements which are connected in series using the expression R equivalent is equal to summation n is equal to 1 to n. That means how many resistors you are connecting in series. So I am taking in general n resistors are connected in series. Then the equivalent resistance is given by R1 plus R2 plus R3 plus R4 up to Rn, whatever number of resistors that you connect in series. So if all the resistors are connected in series, then the equivalent series resistance is nothing but it is the sum of the individual resistors which are connected in series. So this is about the series combination of the resistances. So let us consider one example where if you see the circuit diagram which is shown here, so R1, R2 and R3, these are the three resistors which are connected in series. Now we are applying some voltage V. So when all these three resistors are connected in series, how they are connected you see here? First positive terminal of the voltage source is connected to the first terminal of R1. Now second terminal of R1 is connected to first terminal of R2. Then second terminal of R2 is connected to first terminal of R3. Then the second terminal of R3 is connected to negative terminal of voltage source, which completes your circuit. So R1, R2 and R3 are connected in series. As we already discussed that if all the resistors are connected in series, then the current which is flowing through these resistance will remain same. So let us consider that current flowing through these resistors is I. So if such type of circuits are given, how do we find? So what is the procedure that we follow to solve such circuits? So the first step is find the equivalent resistance. Okay, so we need to find the equivalent resistance of the circuit. So we know how to find the equivalent resistance when all the resistors are connected in series. So the equivalent resistance for this circuit will become the sum of the resistors which are connected in series. So it is R1 plus R2 plus R3. Then we find the current. So how do we find the current? So in order to find the current through the circuit, we basically follow Ohm's law. So according to Ohm's law, we know that it is I is equal to V by R. Then calculate the voltage drop in each resistor. So how do we calculate the voltage drop across each resistor? As we discussed in the previous class, that the voltage drop across each resistor will vary depending upon the resistance value. But what is the current flowing through the resistance? The current flowing through the resistance will remain same. So if I want to find the voltage across R1, then according to Ohm's law, we have voltage through a resistance is given by V is equal to I into R. So according to that equation, now we'll write V is equal to the current which is flowing through this resistor is I and what is the resistance across this. That based on that, now we'll calculate V1. So V1 is nothing but it is the voltage across this resistance R1 which is given by I into R1. Similarly, the voltage across R2 can be calculated as V2 is equal to the current flowing through R2 is I. So it is given as I into R2. Next, the current through R3 can be calculated as I into R3. So based on that, we calculate the voltage drop in each resistor. Now, if you remember that we discussed Kirchhoff's voltage law in the previous class. So what is Kirchhoff's voltage law states is the total voltage which is given by your source. So in this circuit, the source is V and the load will be your R1, R2 and R3. So what is the Kirchhoff's voltage law states? The total voltage which is given by your source will be equal to the sum of the voltage drop across your loads. So if you find out V1, V2 and V3, then if you want to verify the Kirchhoff's voltage law, then V will be equal to V1 plus V2 plus V3. That satisfies your Kirchhoff's voltage law. So after finding the voltage drop in each resistor, next what you need to find, calculate the power dissipated by each resistor. So in order to calculate the power dissipated by each resistor, we have three equations. So what are those equations? Already we discussed in the previous class. that power across the resistor can be calculated using V into I, or you can calculate I square into R, or you can calculate V square by R. So under this particular example, if you consider, calculate the drop power dissipated by each resistor. So we know the voltage across this R1, we know the current through this resistor R1. So multiply both of them, we'll get the power which is being dissipated across this R1. Similarly, the power dissipated by across R2 can be calculated as the current through this resistor R2 and the voltage through this resistor R2, which we have already calculated. Similarly, the current through this resistor R3 and the voltage across this R3. Then find the power output of the source. That means this is the total source voltage. Then total current I also be calculated. So multiply both of them, then we'll get the power which is being delivered by your source. So please remember that the power delivered by the source will be always equal to sum of the power which is being dissipated across this source load elements. So that is how you need to solve such circuits based on the basic concepts of Kirchhoff's voltage law, then Ohm's law. So you all of you please try one example for this particular circuit by considering the voltage V as 24 volts, R1 is equal to 1 ohm, R2 is equal to 3 ohms and R3 is equal to 4 ohms. So this is how this particular circuit is to be solved. Now coming to the next combination of connecting the elements in parallel combination. So next we will discuss about parallel circuit. So what is parallel circuit? Parallel circuit is two or more circuit elements are said to be in parallel if the elements share the same terminal. That means, for example, let us consider an example here. So let us consider R1 and R2, these two resistors we want to connect in parallel. So this is the first terminal and this is the second terminal. This is the first terminal of R2, this is the second terminal of R2. Now how do we connect them? So if the similar terminals of all the elements are connected to one point and other similar terminals of all the resistors are connected to some other point, then the resistors are said to be in parallel. So all ones are connected to one common point and all twos are connected to some another common point, then we say that all the resistors are connected in parallel combination. Now one thing that you need to remember here, when the elements are connected in series, we have discussed in the previous slide itself that the current through all the series elements will remain same. Whereas when you come to parallel combination, the current through all the elements will differ, whereas for parallel combination, the voltage across all the elements will remain same. So please remember this, whereas the current will divide. So if all the resistors are connected in parallel, how do we calculate the parallel combination of resistances? So the equivalent parallel resistance is given by 1 by R equivalent is equal to, it is 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2 plus so on up to 1 by Rn. So R equivalent is nothing but it is a total equivalent resistance when resistors are connected in parallel. Or the another way of writing the same expression is R equivalent can be written as equal to 1 divided by whole divided by 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2 plus so on is equal to 1 by Rn. Whereas the voltage drop across each resistor, that is V1, V2, V3 will remain same when the resistors are connected in parallel. So this is about the parallel combination of resistors. Now these are some of the examples where you can see that the elements are being connected in a combination of series as well as parallel. So these are parallel combination, these are also parallel combination. 4 resistors are connected in parallel. Here 3 resistors are connected in parallel. So like that there are various ways to connect the resistors in parallel combination. So let us consider an example here. So let us take a circuit here where the your source is V volts. R1, R2 and R3 are connected in parallel. So for this given circuit, now we need to calculate. So let us assume here the given V value is 24 volts, R1 value is 1 ohm, R2 value is 3 ohms, and R3 value is 4 ohms. So for these given values, we need to find these parameters. So what is the first one that we'll discuss now? So find the equivalent resistance seen by the source. So what is the equivalent resistance here? So for that, first you need to identify whether the given resistors are connected in series or parallel combination. If I look at the circuit diagram here, R1, R2 and R3 are connected in parallel. So just now we discussed if resistors are connected in parallel, how do we calculate the equivalent resistance? So in order to calculate the equivalent resistance, we have the equation 1 by R equivalent is equal to 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2 plus 1 by R3. Now R1, R2, R3 values are given here. Just substitute all of them. Then calculate 1 by R equivalent. Then you make it R equivalent. You will get the equivalent resistance of the parallel combination of R1, R2 and R3. Now find the total current. Now once you find the total equivalent resistance of the circuit, now we have the total voltage V is equal to 24 volts. Now we apply Ohm's law. According to Ohm's law, I can be written as V by R. So V is 24 volts and whatever R equivalent you have got from this calculation, substitute, then you will get the total current I. Now calculate the current in each resistor. Now how do you calculate the current through each resistor? In order to calculate the current through each resistor, so we already know that when resistors are connected in parallel, the voltage drop across all the resistor will remain same, whereas the currents will differ. So let us assume that the current which is flowing through R1 is I1, the current which is flowing through R2 is I2, the current which is flowing through R3 is I3. So what is the voltage across all these resistors? 24 volts, which will remain same. Now we apply again Ohm's law. So I1 can be written as V by R1, I2 can be written as V by R2, and I3 can be written as V by R3. Now if you apply, so now let us come back to our one more basic law which we have discussed in the previous class, that is Kirchhoff's current law. What is Kirchhoff's current law states? The sum of the currents which are entering the node is equal to sum of the currents which are leaving the node. So already we calculated the total current I which is given from the source. So that is your total current I. Now the current which gets divided between these two is leaving the node. So according to Kirchhoff's current law, we can write that I will be equal to I1 plus I2 plus I3. Now you calculated I. Now you know I1, I2, I3. Just see that whether we are able to satisfy Kirchhoff's current law or not. Okay. So now calculate the power dissipated by each resistor. Again same formula we will use. The power across each resistor can be calculated using the expression V into I, or you can write I square into R, or you can use V square by R. Now we know the current, we know the voltage across each resistor, so you can use any one of the formula to find the power dissipated. Now find the power output of the source. Same. Source is your V, total current is I, power is given by V into I. Again the same concept that you have to apply here. The total power delivered by your source will be always equal to sum of the power which is being delivered across these elements. So that you have to check whether you are satisfying that concept or not. So this is a small example which gives us a basic idea how to calculate the voltage and current through your circuits. Now coming to one more important rule, that is with respect to voltage division rule. So what is voltage division rule? So voltage division rule is useful in determining the voltage drop across a resistance within a series circuit. So you have to remember when do we apply voltage division rule. So as we already discussed just now, that when we go for series connection of any circuit, we know that the current through the series circuit will remain the same, but voltage across the individual element will differ. So under such circumstances, we apply voltage division rule in order to ease our calculations. So let us consider the same example. The source is Vs here. Three resistors R1, R2, R3 are connected in series. So therefore the current flowing through this series resistor resistors will remain same, which is I. Now the voltage drop across R1, R2 and R3 is given by V1, V2 and V3. As we know, the voltage will differ. So when we know voltage, total voltage, you know how to find the equivalent resistance, then you can find the current through it. Now I need to find the voltage across the individual resistance. So how do we do that? For that we use voltage division rule. So what is voltage division rule? Voltage division rule Vx. X stands for 1, 2, 3, any number you can take. Vx is equal to, it is Rx divided by R equivalent into Vs. That means voltage across, suppose for example, if I want to find voltage across R1. So in order to find voltage across R1, what is the voltage across R1? We have taken V1. So this becomes V1 is equal to, what is the resistance across V1? It is R1 divided by, what is R equivalent? R equivalent is nothing but how the resistors are connected in the circuit. So all these resistors are connected in series. So your R equivalent will become R1 plus R2 plus R3 into the total voltage source. Okay. So other way of remembering the voltage division rule is, okay, simple in words we can remember this voltage division rule as voltage across any terminal is equal to total voltage into, okay, I am talking about V1. So please listen carefully. So it is V1 is equal to total voltage. Total voltage is Vs into same resistance. Means for example, if you are finding V1, same resistance means it will become R1. If it is V2, then it becomes R2. If it is V3, then it becomes V3. So V1 is equal to total voltage Vs into same resistance R1 divided by sum of the resistances. So sum of the resistances here is R1 plus R2 plus R3. This is how you remember voltage division rule, and remember that the voltage division rule is applicable only when you are connecting the circuits in series combination. Now this is an example. Here determine the voltage across R2 and the R3. So some 60 volts is given, R1, R2, R3 are given. So we apply voltage division rule and we calculate the voltage across R2 and R3 using voltage division rule. So same formula you have to consider here. Total voltage into same resistance divided by sum of the resistances. Okay. So this is a very simple example. Now coming to one more important rule with respect to parallel combination of the circuit, which is known as current division rule. So current division rule is useful in determining the current flow through one branch of the parallel circuit. So as we already discussed that when resistors are connected in parallel, we know that voltage across the resistors will remain same, whereas the current through resistor will differ. So under certain circumstances, there is a need to find the current through each element. That time we make use of current division rule. So what is current division rule here? Current division rule, Ix is equal to, it is R equivalent. You know how to find R equivalent? All the resistors are connected in parallel, divided by Rx into Is. So that means total current, Ix is nothing but here the current through any of the terminal. X is nothing but here 1, 2, 3, any value you can consider. It is I1, I2 or I3. So Ix is equal to total equivalent resistance of the circuit which are connected in parallel divided by Rx into Is. So this is the equation that we use in order to calculate the current through individual branch when they are connected in parallel, which is basically known as current division rule. Now this is a small example. You all of you please note it down and let us find out the current across each branch using current division rule. Okay. Right. So for there is a small condition here for when two resistors are connected in parallel. That time we make use of this shorter form of the equations to find the R equivalent and current division rule. That is, R equivalent is given by R1 parallel with R2, which is equal to R1 into R2 divided by R1 plus R2. This formula is applicable only when two resistors are connected in parallel. If more than two resistors are connected in parallel, you cannot apply this particular formula. So please remember that it is applicable only when two resistors are connected in parallel. Similarly, when two resistors are connected in parallel, then we know that the current flowing through first terminal will be I1, current flowing through second terminal will be I2. Under certain circumstances, we use the current division rule in this way. So what is current division rule? If two resistors are connected in parallel, then for example, if I want to find I1 here, I1 will be equal to total current, which is I. So I is the total current which is divided between I1 and I2 here. So I1 is calculated as total current into opposite resistance, that is R2, divided by sum of the resistances, which is R1 plus R2. So this is applicable only if the resistors, only two resistors are connected in parallel. Similarly, I2, how will we write? I2 is equal to total current. What is total current here? I into opposite resistance, which is R1 divided by sum of the resistance, which is R1 plus R2. So these formulas are applicable only provided you have a simple circuit where we have only two resistors connected in parallel. So these are the basic concepts that you need to understand in order to learn this network analysis and transmission lines in a better way. So let us revise what all we have discussed till now. So till now we have discussed about what are the basic components, that is what are independent sources, what are dependent sources, how dependent sources are being represented, what are the different types of dependent sources we have. Apart from that, we have discussed about the Ohm's law, then how the power through the source is being represented, that is power is equal to voltage into current. How do we define a current? What is the basic unit for the current? How it is being represented for AC and DC circuits? What is voltage? What is the unit for the voltage? How it is being represented for AC as well as DC? Then we have discussed about Kirchhoff's current law and Kirchhoff's voltage law. What is Kirchhoff's current law, when it is applicable, and what is Kirchhoff's voltage law, how it is being applicable. Apart from that, we have also discussed about the different parameters which are related with any circuit, that is what is branch, what is node, what is loop, what is mesh, how do we identify all of them, right? Apart from that, we have also discussed that if the basic element resistors are connected in series and parallel combination, how do we solve them? And if they are connected in series, what will remain constant and what will change? If they are connected in parallel, what remains same and what will change? So all these concepts with respect to basics of network analysis topic we have discussed till now. So next class we'll start with the network topology. Thank you.